Hey, excited to have Michael from Tyketto on the line tonight. They've got a brand new album out called Reach, and if you listen to the show, you heard last week our reunion of Danny Vaughn and Johnny D of Wasted, and of course Danny with Tyketto now. So lots going on in the Tyketto world. Michael, welcome to the show.
Hey, brother, how are you?
I'm doing great, man. So let's get right into first to talking about Reach. First of all, congratulations on the release, man. Tell folks a little bit about how long this thing took to record and where you produced it.
This whole thing just came, and we kind of stumbled into it. We have all the three new members in the band just really became family with us. So we just, maybe about a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, said let's just see what we can come up with, and let's see if we can write together. Very unlike Tyketto's normal writing process, where Danny would pretty much deliver a vocal melody on an acoustic guitar. This was kind of built from the drums and guitar up. So Chris and I actually dove in first, and we just laid down maybe 8 or 10 guitar and drum ideas, and then sent them off to Danny, which was a 180 from how we've ever written Tyketto music. And it took Danny a couple weeks to really embrace it. And he was trying to figure out where it fit in, because he never had to go second in line before. And once he kind of said, okay, it's a little bit more aggressive than the normal Tyketto sound, but I'm going to go. And once he started getting into the groove with us, the stuff just started pouring out of us. It was just, we feel like we cracked a new code to a whole different dimension of the band.
So you mentioned the new members, so why don't you let folks that maybe lost track with you guys a little bit, tell us about who the new members of the band are.
We did the Dig In Deep record in 2012. That was the last record with the fully original lineup: Brooks St. James, Jimmy Kennedy, Danny, and I. And then through different personal reasons and job commitments, Brooke and Jimmy just really couldn't give it their all. So the first one in was Jed Rylands, who Danny had did a project with, great keyboard player from the UK. Danny had done a record called Rage of Angels with. He sang a song with them. Then Chris Childs from the band Thunder, who is one of the best bass players I've ever had the privilege of playing with in my life. He had known Danny from various projects. They actually do some side work in an Eagles tribute band together. So Chris came in, and then Chris Green was a recommendation. I don't know where Danny even had met him. He was a bit more from the shredder prog rock school, but just a sweetheart of a guy. We got together in the room just to check him out maybe about 2 years ago, and it was such a instantaneous friendship connection. It was this instant musical lock. It was one of those things where it's just musical love at first sight. Like, we just felt like this guy had been there forever with us. And this core lineup has been together for a couple of years now, and we just couldn't ask for better.
So, two of the songs I want to ask you about, my favorite one, I think, possibly on the album's All the Way at the End, and the song The Run, man, that one just jumped out at me. I got all the way to the end of that record, like, wow, they saved this until the end. Tell me a little bit about that tune.
The Run is so special on so many levels. First, it was, I had the pleasure of meeting Danny's Uncle Billy many, many years ago. Vietnam Marine, hard around the edges, hard to gold, biker dude, Sturgis bound, the whole bit, and he and I just clicked. Like, Danny was like, my uncle just loves you. We spent one night in Ohio just drinking tequila and watching Godfather movies. Just a genuinely wonderful guy. And he passed away last year, and he had a long bout with cancer. Danny was very moved by it. He was really, on some levels, like a father figure, big brother figure to Danny. That song is a tribute to him about forgotten veterans, and just getting on your bike and going on a bike run and freeing your mind, just all these wonderful images. And knowing his uncle, it meant a lot to me. That was also the litmus test song for, okay, can the three of us write together, and can the three of us communicate together with Danny in Spain, me in Old Bridge, New Jersey, and Chris in Atlanta, Georgia. So Danny sent the Run vocal melody and just had no idea what Chris and I were going to do to it. Chris and I did our thing. Danny sent back a letter, like, it brought him to tears, and he's like, if I could play drums and guitar as well as you two, it's exactly what I would have done. Like, we can definitely write a record together. It does my uncle proud. It does, like, he was so over the moon with it. So that song is a lot of people's favorites, and for mine, it's not only musically, there's so many other reasons why it's just very dear to my heart. But I couldn't agree with you. That's my top three on the record.
Wow, man! So I picked a good one there, and then
you picked an important one.
Yeah, man, and it's a great tune. And the second one I was going to ask about is actually the title track. It's one we've got in our top dozen right now. Is Reach. It's a kind of a longer song than just a mainstream radio single, isn't it?
Danny, again, the twists and turns in the road. There was blessings and curses with this process, but some of the twists and the turns in the road were we didn't know what the other guy was going to send back. Like, it was like, and we took this thing and so many, like when I sent back the drum part to Kick Like a Mule, those two guys, their jaws, they had no idea it was going to go that way rhythmically with it. It always changes up. Danny sent Reach. If you would hear the original take of Reach, it was a ballad about his wife.
Oh, wow.
And I just heard this thing, and something about it, it reminded me of like, I'm like, this is an album opener, like kick up the register of your vocal, let's lean into it. It felt like, rhythmically, I just heard in my head, Raise Your Hands by Bon Jovi. Just that anthemic, Here It Comes kind of thing. So Chris and I were brainstorming with it. Chris was getting very frustrated with that one, because he and I must have rewrote that 8 or 10 times. Because we didn't know it was very experimental. We didn't know where we wanted to go with it. So when we finally sent that back to Danny, he was like, you guys are out of your mind. Like, where the hell did you take this thing? And I absolutely love it. So it just, and then Danny goes, what happens on that big drum thing after the solo in the middle? I'm like, I have no idea, dude. I was just making stuff up. And all right, let's keep it. And like I said, it was it was just such a bizarre process on every level. And I think the end result was just, without the conventional production tools at hand, we ended up just going with our gut on 90% of it. Like, let's just keep moving this along and seeing where it takes us. And the result is what you hear now.
Hey, so something else cool you guys just released not too long ago was this 25-year documentary. Why don't you tell people a little bit about that thing?
That is, if I have 50 gray hairs on top of my head, Documentally Yours DVD is responsible for about 45 of them. Because I did 90% of that myself on Windows Movie Maker.
Oh
which my editor told me is the video equivalent of rubbing two sticks together to make fire. So the long story short is Danny was a video hound. He videotaped everything, this old VHS recorder. When he moved to Ireland, he asked me if I could store some of his stuff in America. So I had a box of 33 videotapes in my basement for years. And I went to clean out my basement. Some of these tapes had like so much dirt on them, you couldn't even spin the reel. I mean, they were ancient. And at the time, I think my son was 6. So I'm like, you know what, let me transfer this stuff to DVD just so my boy has something to see and show his kids someday. So I had to do that in real time. I sat through 93 hours of footage, 13.
Oh, my God.
I think it was 33 3-hour tapes. It went on forever. And I'm watching this thing, and I'm like, there's a story starting to unfold. It's not just my home movies I'm saving for my kid. I'm like, first it was like, wow, there's a story about Tyketto. Then it was like, no, there's a story about the New York music scene. Then it ended up like, wait a minute, there's a story about this genre that got swept up in the alternative. So I ended up putting 2.5 years into it and looking at every minute of it and really like trying to storyboard it. Unknown band from New York just hit it real big, real fast, and it was gone just as quickly. And then decided to resurface for no other reason than we love the music we make. And then we're back on the world. It's a real Rocky story. Like it's so near and dear to my heart. And people really reacted to it. So that's been out for sale for a few years. But now that we're having this big resurgence with Reach, people are really going back to rediscover the band. And the DVD's playing an important role in the whole thing, too.
Yeah, man. So go check that one out. That's a cool story behind that, and that knowing that you put so much of your heart and soul into that makes it even more special.
Oh, dude, it was shit. All this stuff with Tyketto, it's just my wife she just sits back laughing at me, and she was like, "You're complaining and cursing and she's like, but don't do it any differently. Whatever you guys did this last 2 years, the results are explosive. It's like it was so many blocks in the we had 20 very viable excuses to just cash it in and be done with it. And be like, you know what, this just isn't going to work financially. It can't work musically. We're too far apart. And we were just driven by this genuine love for what we do. And as corny as that sounds, it was a deal breaker. Like it really made it a pleasant, wonderful process with pleasant, unpleasant, and nasty circumstances around it, but we did it.
So one of my great excitements over the past couple months was sailing aboard the Monsters of Rock cruise, and I was so excited to see Tyketto, their name up there again. So reflect back on the Monsters of Rock cruise a little bit.
We've become part of that family, and we were definitely the redheaded stepchild because our Agent Sullivan, bless his heart, he had seen us in the New York days in the early 90s. I honestly think he just threw us a cookie to put us on that first Monsters of Rock cruise, because we're up with Tesla, Firehouse, Vixen, Extreme, Mr. Big. I mean, we were probably one of two bands on that cruise the first year that wasn't multi-platinum. Like, we were the kids on that thing. And we went in and did the first show, and we were just so fired up that the promoter of the whole came over, and he goes, on the next cruise you guys play, and you're going to play many of them with me, because your merchandise item should say, who the F is Tyketto? Because that's all anybody in this boat, like, you just knock these people out, and half of them don't even know who you are. So, long story short, we did 3 Florida Monsters, we just did the LA Monsters, now we're doing the launch parties. We did a deck slot, we did the main theater slot. So, and the beauty of it is, we're the band that the other bands want to go see, which I couldn't ask for more of a compliment than that. It's just been this real underdog little train that could make it. We're just chugging away, and, 30 short years later, people are really starting to take notice. So it's just crazy.
Yeah, I got to congratulate you on the Monsters thing, man. I was at that first show. I was actually in the front row at the first show you guys did on the first time you were on the Monsters, and saw you guys down in the theater. I was seasick as all get out during that set, but you guys killed it.
Oh, that was in the Spinnaker Lounge on the first year?
The first year, yeah. So,
oh, dude, I forget what, they tell us, oh, by the way, you're playing in the downstairs lounge while Kix is up on the pool deck playing the launch party. And it comes around and pumping champagne. And we were like, there's going to be like 4 people here. And it was packed. And it was just so much fun. And yeah, that's become, like an annual family, like Jed and I do the Cooking with Rockstars competition. We're involved in all these interboat things with the other bands. It's just and it introduces us to a whole new audience, which is wonderful. Like it's really, that and M3 were just the 2 best things in America that happened to us in years.
Yeah, it's up to us nicely. I've caught you at M3 every year too, man. I'm a big fan of both of those events. So, the big question I have then, I know you're going on a UK tour. Is there any prayer for a U.S. festival, or is it just going to be more, a U.S. tour, or is it just going to be more the festival scene here in the States?
Tour is tough. We're doing, Monsters of Rock's always an open door for us. I'm really trying to get us back on M3 because we did so well. And also, we just signed on, we are headlining the Rock and Skull Festival in Chicago, the last Sunday in October of 2017. So I'm probably going to put a couple Midwestern dates around that, and maybe a New York date on that Friday. It's just with the keyboard player and the bassist in England and Danny's in Spain, it literally cost us $5,000 to be in the same room together before travel and hotel and food and everything else. So U.S. has been eluding us, but we've got a couple things in the work because we have a ton of U.S. fans right now we'd love to play for.
Well, we'll look forward to that. And worst case scenario, I'm going to keep looking at. We're at M3 every year. We're at Monsters most years, so keep looking for you there. So the album is Reach, man. Oh, go ahead.
Just put in a good word at the M3 people because we would love to be back on that one.
Well, I'll tell you what. A lot of those Monsters and M3 people are fans. Are the same fans. So it's like a fan.
Yeah, no, it seems like it seems like we've hit this community that's just. This 80s band community is very loyal and they're very supportive. It's just wonderful to be a part of it because we've done maybe I'd say 10 or 15 major festivals around the planet in the last 3 or 4 years. So we're getting firmly entrenched in that circuit.
Well, we're going to keep rooting for you here at the Marmy Rock Show. And Michael Tyketto, man, thanks so much for being here. Go check out Reach, and we're going to play a number of tunes off of that record tonight. So
thank you, brother. Thanks for the support. Thank you, brother.
All right, man. Hey, thanks. You have a great day.